We're sitting down with USC presidential candidate Jeff Rutledge. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much for having me here, guys. It's awesome.
No worries. So let's talk about council debate. I would say, as a whole, you're probably less familiar to the USC than other candidates, but you made it clear in your responses that you were the man for the job. What would you say is more important, experience or charisma?
That's a good question. It depends on, again, what you think of a politician. No, I'm just kidding. In terms of experience, I think, to be honest, experience is very important. But I think that by having involvement here at Western as a part of the social science, I think the constitutions of the USC and social science run very similar. And I think that gives me the experience for that, as well as being involved in a lot of the other groups. But in terms of charisma, I think charisma is also really important. I mean, you are the face of the university. I mean, you can ask Emily the number of events that she has to go to. She has to represent Western, and I think an engaging person, someone that is approachable, and somebody that can be talked to easily about pretty much anything. Somebody who's frank is really important as well.
Great. So debit and credit in the spoke, big hot topic item in the platform. Wondering if you could talk about feasibility of that, as well as who you talked to about whether that was actually possible.
Yeah, absolutely. It's actually Jeff Farmer that I spoke with. Well, I didn't speak with him personally, but I had somebody that was really interested as well on my campaign team, went and spoke with him. The viability of that actually happening, he basically said that it could happen anytime. The issue with that, and I'm actually surprised that it didn't come up earlier about the debit and credit, the issue with that is that there would be a surcharge on top of the purchase. So that's between 24 and 30 cents. Now, my whole background behind this is the idea of creating convenience for students and creating another option for them to be able to purchase. So what I'm thinking is that because there is a surcharge on top of it, that we could create a minimum purchase price. Maybe somewhere about $5, and that could go up as high as $10 before. But it's viable. It could happen technically tomorrow. They have the equipment to put it in. It's just a matter of recognizing that students may or may not want to pay the surcharge, but in terms of convenience, I believe that they would, and I think they want that option to be able to use their credit and debit.
Let's talk more about experience. There are candidates running against you that have more USC experience than you do. Talk about that. Is that a detriment to you at all? Yeah, you know what? I honestly, like I said, I think experience is very important. But I think that we've had very unique experiences. A number of the other candidates are senators, and that's essentially been their career in terms of the USC. Now, not to say that doesn't give them a broad view of what the USC does, but I think they have a certain set kind of vision of how the USC functions. And I think, coming from social science, where I have a bit of an outsider perspective, but have over the last 2 years made the utmost effort to attend every meeting as a student at large, representing just a regular Western student. I think that tells a lot about, my commitment to this. I think, I've made the effort to make sure that I become knowledgeable about how the meetings function, about the constitution of the USC, about the clubs and about the committees that are associated with it. So I wouldn't say that the experience is lacking in terms of me, because I have made the effort to become experienced. And I think what better experience can you have than sitting at each and every council meeting?
So Jeff, I gotta ask, you talk about the Purple Hub, making a new website for students and another online portal for us to access information on. We're in the process of remaking our website. Why make two? Why complicate everything? What's the point?
Well, my hope with this is, and it actually ends up being perfect timing, is that the fact that we are technically remodeling our website as it is, my hope is that we can integrate aspects of what I've set up as a framework into that remodel. Now, I know that Carolyn's hope was that we would have this done by the end of the semester, but I don't think it's really responsible to rush anything. I think we need to take time and make sure it's a website that's functional for students. So hopefully, if I do become elected, we can integrate the aspects that I've discussed in my platform into that remodel, so that it can be functional for students. So that way, when they come back, when the majority of students come back in September, they're able to operate with a website that's going to contribute to their experience here at Western.
Okay, help me out a little here. Help me out. I reviewed your platform, and I can't seem to find anything about campus media. Of course, I'm going to ask you this.
Yeah.
The closest thing would be the Purple Hub, which we just touched on. But I find the focus isn't campus media. I'm talking specifically Gazette, CHW, TV Western. So take this opportunity to clarify for me and everyone watching how, as president, you would support campus media.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely an excellent question. I mean, I was sitting in the spoke yesterday after we'd gone through everything, and I was sitting there listening, and I'm listening to the radio that's playing, and it's not Western radio, and I'm thinking in my head, why aren't we playing our media around campus? We have plenty of TVs here that sit out in the UCC all the time. There's TVs all over campus. Why aren't we playing TV Western? The opportunities are there on campus already that are built in so that we can engage our media on campus, so that when students come to Western, they're seeing their media all the time. They're seeing CHRW. And hopefully they're tuning in when they get home to wake up to CHRW, so they know what's going on campus. Obviously, you touched on the Purple Hub, being able to stream the video and stuff. I mean, you guys already have that on your websites, and that's awesome. The hope is, though, that we can create another opportunity for students to access it at a single point. So if they want to listen and watch, they can do it in one place.
Now, ideas, and I love them, but why aren't they integrated with your platform?
To be honest, in terms of media, my hope was that through the Purple Hub is that we could contribute to the media, and it was almost I guess kind of a subsection of that. And I was hoping that when I'm up here talking about looking at what Guelph's done with their canon, my hope is that people take the time to actually look at what that is, so that they can understand what the functions of it are. So that way, when they say, okay, what is this Purple Hub really going to represent? They can say, well, at Guelph they do have their radio station that's on there, so that they can listen to it all the time. They do have their TV station so that they can watch it. So it was almost kind of a subsection in there, but it was never kind of a missed thought. I think that media at Western is a really important part, and provides a lot of students great opportunities to not only contribute to Western, but to put things onto their resume so that they can grow, and down the road they can look back at Western and see it as a jumping off point for them.
So we heard this morning about items from platforms from years past showing back up on different people's platforms this year, and you did allude to the fact that this issue about clubs comes up every time. I'm curious, sort of, as you have this initiative to fix ClubsNet, fix the clubs policy, make everything work better in the club system, why is it every year this comes up and never changes? Is there something you're missing, and that's why maybe it's never been fixed?
Yeah, no, to be honest, I think I was talking with Mark, and I was asking him, really, why are we running into these issues as they are? And he was saying, right now, basically, student life has gone through a bit of a shakeup, and they have the opportunity now to make the changes, to make it so that the student life comes back to becoming a service that it hasn't really been over the last couple of years. They recognize that there's shortcomings in their kind of field, and they want to take the steps forward now to do that, to make it so that they're providing students with the service they need. So that's why I touched on training being effective, because they recognize that maybe the way they did it last year wasn't the most effective way. Maybe the way they did it this year wasn't the most effective way. So they want to move forward and provide that service. So I'm not saying that the club system is completely non-functional. Obviously, we have one of the best one in Canada. It's just, I think somebody would be remiss not to include it in their platform, because it's something we continually need to work on so that we can stay the leader. Mark goes to conferences all the time looking at how we can successfully make ours better, and I think each year there's new things that we can do to make it better. So it's not a matter of it being broken, it's a matter of making it work better.
Sure. Let's talk about the USC. Obviously that's a big part of this. What can you do as president to better enhance the USC mission statement?
Well, you know what, I think, and I'm assuming you're referring to Vision to Lead in that, you know what, it's a fantastic document that creates, well, it is a mission statement essentially, and I think that, the idea of getting back to the service, making USC a service for students is the most important part. And I think that I've included in my platform a number of ways of accessing students that haven't in the past been able to be accessed, providing them with the opportunities to get into contact with those people who they need to contact if they want to get involved, or just getting the information about campus that's important for their experience here.
So tell us what it's like living with another presidential candidate.
It's actually really interesting. We actually found out in about September, basically, that we're both going to be running, which was kind of, we come to the conclusion at that point.
That's awkward.
No, I remember we were standing in my kitchen, and he said, "So I hear you're running," and I said, "Yeah, I'm actually really excited." And he goes, "I'm running too," and I said, "That's great, because we share a wall." So it's been really interesting. You hear each other's phone call, like the phone ringing, and then somebody will run out the door, kind of thing. But I made it pretty clear with Mateus from the beginning, and he was definitely like the idea of leaving it on the front step. When you go home, really, you want a place to kind of relax and just kind of chill and not have to worry about answering questions or anything like that, which is what we're doing here. But you want to be able to relax and be yourself. So he was pretty supportive of that as well.
Sleeping with one eye open, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Basically.
we've got about 30 seconds left. I want you to tell me if you could only achieve one, if you're elected, if you could only achieve one platform point, what would be the most important? What would it be?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, honestly, the Purple Hub is. It creates the most effective way of contacting students, bringing them in, and providing them with the information they need to help with our Purple community.
Sure. Thank you for sitting down with us today.
No problem. Thank you very much, guys.
Thanks, Jeff.